Hey everyone, today I just passed Cost and Managerial Accounting at WGU, also known as D101, and man, this one was pretty tough. It took me about 2.5 months to finish this one. So I started this one around end of November of 2024, and I didn't finish it until January 26, 2025. So yeah, my term ended in the middle of this class and I had to re-register for it and take it again. And yeah, this thing's pretty tough. However, it is very, very manageable. I think that anyone can get through this. It's just that you're going to have to take the time and you can't really wing it like other classes that you might have in your gen ed. So starting off, um, you really want to get a good foundation of the knowledge, whether if it's reading through the textbook, taking the Edspira, going through the Edspira workbook, using Tony Bell videos, anybody that can teach you these concepts that you click with and you kind of understand how they're telling it or how they're explaining it to you, that's who you should use. Just stick with that person and go with them throughout the whole way because you need to understand these concepts to a T. Like, there's really no way you can just wing this class and pass it without understanding it. So, my best suggestion would be to skim through the textbook, watch a few videos, see how you score in the PA, and then reassess from there. The best part about this class is that the PA is dang near identical to the OA, with the exception of the master budget. So the master budget is the big talking point for this class. Everyone's scared of it. However, if you really sit down and learn it before you get to the OA, you'll be in good hands. So for example, there is a Discord, I believe, that has a practice worksheet that is more like the one in the OA versus the one on the PA, which is kind of lackluster because it only shows 3 months of data, where in the OA you have to do 4 or 3 months. No, yeah, the PA is 1 month and the OA is 3 months. So that's a big difference right there. And a lot of people get overwhelmed. I know when I took this OA for the first time, I did not know what to do. I was just honestly inputting everything I could, hoping that I can get any partial credits. However, the second time around, I really mastered it. I went to that Excel, the first thing, skipped the whole test, went to the Excel, knocked that out, and it was fairly easy. Like, if you really understand that, hey, you're just referencing other cells and doing simple math, you just do multiplication at most, and you'll be good. You just need to understand the terms, you need to understand what rate are you applying to what units. And I know a lot of the times that people, or on the OA, people get tripped up on like the dollar amounts and all that stuff. However, if you just look at it as a number and don't really look into it too much and don't overthink it, you should be able to get through the master budget. I know the direct materials budget is really hard, but I believe in you. You can get through it. Another tip I want to give you is the ones with the cash and credit. For some reason, these ones annoyed me. They took so long to write out. However, I found a nice little method to get through them. So basically, you put your months here, September through January. Then you put your percentage of sales. So 9, 25, 65, 5. That adds up to 100. So instead of going through and doing the calculations for each month, just go through and put the months where you need it and just calculate the months you're calculating from there. So all the ones in the OA, they're going to be asking for January. So if you just follow here, how many 5% collections are in January? Just this January one, collected in the first month. What about the 25%? We have one in December. 65%, that's November, and then 5% for January that we never collect. And then from there, usually it'll say like a 70-30, or it'll be asking you about like the direct materials. Just go through and just multiply it from there. Like, cause you just need to get these months, the value for these months instead of calculating all of this. This will save you a lot of time. Like the OA, it took me about 2.5 hours out of the 3 hours. So you're gonna be working on that for a while. Another thing is with the price variances. Those are hard. Those are tough. I never really got to understand those, and that was my weakest portion in this test. So try your best, figure it out. I haven't found anything, but like you need to go in realizing that if you have to score good on the rest of the test because that variance thing could trip you up. Like I trust me, I studied, I tried, and it just never clicked for me. Make sure to know the different type of managerial accounting. There's process costing. There's ABC costing, and then there is what's the last one? Process ABC, and then the last one slipping through my mind. Well, it'll come back to me. So just make sure you know all the processing or all the costing that you can and really nail that down because they're going to ask you these questions that are really nuanced, that something like some sort of task like you would only do in a process costing versus some sort of task you do in only ABC costing. So little questions like that. A lot of them, other questions, like the big thing is a lot of them is just kind of going through the mechanics. Like if you know basic algebra, you can go through and just plug it in with different numbers and know the process. Like if you put the PA questions to ChatGPT, it'll walk you through how to calculate that. And if you know how to calculate it and just plug in the numbers that are different on the OA, you should do fairly well. Like a lot of it is just learning how to walk through the problems, and it really isn't as hard as it thinks. Like as you think, like you just need to go through, think it through, memorize like how to do this question, and you should be pretty good for this one. Like it does take a while to go through and kind of get a good like bird's eye view of the whole concept of this class. However, once you do, you should be able to like identify, oh, this question's asking about this question's asking about that, and it should just be, you should at least feel like you can answer all the questions in the PA without looking at your notes, without having to copy and paste it into Google and looking it up. You should just know the general idea of how to work the problems, and you should be able to pass the OA. Like, it's pretty tough. It took me a while, but I think everyone can get it. Um, Another thing is make sure to learn the equivalent units versus um, the conversion cost questions. There's going to be a lot of questions that are about, what was it? Like the contribution margin. Like that one was the hardest for me. However, I took the time to learn that one, and you kind of realize it's just an algebra equations that you just flip around here and there. It's usually revenue minus variable cost equals contribution margin minus fixed expenses equals net income. And basically, all the questions are going to take every single part of that equation and put X in different places. And basically, you just rearrange it and figure it out from there. So, yeah, um, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. Study, read the textbooks, find whatever class or videos that work for you, and just get at it. You have to go through and really nail the repetition, but once you get that done, you should be able to pass. Till next time, peace.